Hi guys, welcome back to BattaBox. Today I want to talk about Airpeace and my experience with flying the Gatwick to Lagos route. And one thing I want to say is that kudos to Airpeace for them just being able to secure that route. However, I have some comments or suggestions which I think might be areas of improvement. One of them being that the tickets are quite cheap, but if you want to make a change, you get heavily penalized. So in other words, if you're flying, say, on Monday, and for whatever reason, you are no longer flying on Monday, but you want to fly on Wednesday, and you call them to say, hey, I want to make that change, they charge you an arm and a leg. So the original ticket was about 1.8 million, I believe it was. And I wanted to make a change. That was a round trip ticket, by the way. I wanted to make a change, and I was charged 692,000 naira. So how does that make sense? If it's 1.8 round trip and then one way is about 900k, a change should not be 692,000 at all. That's ridiculous. So that's what they call these low-cost leaders, people that make things so cheap. When you want to make any change, they will penalize you heavily for doing that. That is kind of not nice. So it's a low-budget airline for those who don't have money. Yes, they also have student discounts. But don't make any change. If you make any change, you're going to be penalized heavily. Now, you might say, well, that's normal, but that's not normal. For a lot of airlines, even in the West, they don't charge you 50%, but they don't charge you the price of a one-way trip for you to make a change. And this is not even in the festive period. So yes, I mean, I'm Nigerian, I want to support what they're doing, but I think it's ridiculous to be charging people for a one-way trip because you want to make a change to a round trip. Now, that aside, I also had a friend of mine who flew to Airpeace but missed a flight. So they showed up at the airport, and it turns out that they missed a flight. And there's no like courtesy, we are going to get to on the next flight. There's no, flat tire rule, which a lot of airlines have in the West. There's no, oh wow, you were late, don't worry, as long as you need 24 hours, we'll take care of you. Nothing like that. That's called a no-show. And I'm not an airline expert. Maybe I'm expecting too much. But one thing I know is that they shouldn't be like you are late, so you have to buy a new ticket. Again, low-cost leader. So their costs are cheap, but I want to say be very careful. Don't buy it if you think your plan is flexible. Rather go with the other airlines who have structures and who are well set up so that they can accommodate you if you happen to miss your flight. So that's one thing. Second issue I have is the training of the staff. The staff, they're not trained well to be able to like how they greet people and and I saw a video of the inaugural flight, but that's just the inaugural flight. Every other flight since then, the service has not been very good. Again, I've only flown once with Airpeace, Gatwick to Lagos. But maybe if I fly again, maybe it's just they're tired, or I got a different set of crew. But the in-service with the air hostesses, I don't think they know what they are doing. I don't think they are doing a good job. And some of them don't even recognize like simple things. Like, I need this, I need that, can you get this for me? That service, like, of course, if you fly Emirates or you fly Virgin, the way they treat you is like a whole different level. So I'm not expecting that necessarily, but for an airline like that, I expect them to be able to do better, given that they are trying to impress people. At least let them spend a lot of money and train the staff. That's what I'm going to say about that. I won't go into detail. Then the other thing, and the last item I'll say here that from my flights is that I think people are saying the British Airways and the British government is frustrating them, which part of that is true. But the emphasis on making sure that you have to show up like 2.5 hours earlier. I mean, I fly abroad, and most airlines don't close the gates and say you can't check in because you are 2 hours early. This was flown in this flight I'm talking about was flown early of May, so like first week of May. I'll just put it at that. And they have this policy where you have to show up like 2 hours before. If you don't show up 2 hours before, they will lock the gates, blah blah blah, and it's just so strict. And they have flown abroad whereby I showed up 30 minutes before and I'm fine. So, but I think Nigerians, like, they try to take everything to the extra, and they just make it really, really excess. And because of that, they are inconveniencing their customers. Now, this is my friend that flew on the flight, and they were ended up being, you know, told to come back next day, whatever, because they were 1.5 minutes earlier instead of 2 hours early, and they closed the gate. Turns out that even the next day when they showed up for the flight, the plane was empty. You know, I'm going to put the video in here. Most of the flights right now, they're actually being empty. So, and people can say, well, oh, Nigerians don't want to support them, or we Nigerians don't want to support our own. That's not the case. It's just when you can get better service, or when you can be in a situation where you can get better service, why wouldn't you go for that and pay a little more? Or let's say you miss your flight, and if you miss your flight, you don't have to buy a new ticket, which is basically what Airpeace is having people do now. So the Lagos to Gatwick and Gatwick to Lagos route, I think that route in particular is ambitious, is bold, and we should support Airpeace. But also, I think they need to do better. They need to up their game. If you disagree with me, please let me know in the comments below. If you think I'm just making stuff up, you should look online. You see a lot of people also having similar complaints. I'm not sure about that route, but these are the routes I've flown particularly, and it's something that's concerned. Will I fly that? Will I fly Airpeace again? I'm not sure. I really can't say yes or no. I'm just not sure. And I think that you know, they could do better. That's all I have for today. Please let me know if you agree or disagree with me. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.
BattaBox.